Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Loryn, and I am the author of the story you're about to listen to. So as you know, this year has been pretty trying for me, and I've been trying to decide what direction I want to go with the channel. It took me a while, but I found a solution. Some of y'all have been asking if I can write something darker, again, I guess, and I truly have a love for darker stories myself. I like stories where I can craft a detailed lore and ongoing drama in and out of the romance. So I started something darker. Currently, we don't have a name for it, but we're calling it the Manessah Family, Book 1. And I've got 5 books plotted in the world, and I'm loving it. I have written probably about 25% so far, and it's great. So, moving forward, what I'm gonna do is the weeks that I don't have a novella for you guys, I will probably give you a part of my work in progress read by me, like just a chapter. And yeah, so that's the ongoing plan. And if you guys are interested, I can give you guys more lore about it and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's the plan right now moving forward. And this week you're going to get chapter 1 of the first book of the Manessah family. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
The Manessah Family, Book 1, Chapter 1. Amaziah. Amaziah's mahogany brown skin stood out in sharp relief to the stark white of his wedding tuxedo. The sunset orange pocket square matched the color of the evening sky as what had been a bright, sunny summer day faded into a balmy, tired summer evening. The wedding had been scheduled for 4 o'clock. His groom, an esteemed member of the Bankole family, had been adamant about the time. Nile Tejuhawa Bankole had been adamant about many things concerning the event, and Amaziah had been in compliance. The details, after all, were less important than what the union meant to both families. It was long awaited, a union that had been in negotiation for years, and not through any fault of Amaziah's family, the Manessah family. Despite having the smallest of the city's territories, the Bankole family had the most requests. They were a very old and a very prestigious family, prestigious enough to make almost ludicrous requests, including the wedding to start promptly at 4 o'clock in the evening at the most expensive outdoor venue in the city, the venue located on the coveted neutral ground smack in the middle of the city, and for the Manessah family to shoulder the burden of cost. Amaziah stole a glance at his watch. 7:37. His legs ached from holding stock still at the altar in front of an apologetic priest and hungrily impatient groomsmen. Nearly 4 hours was too long to wait, but Amaziah couldn't bring himself to move. His feet, in long dress loafers with curled tips, had rooted themselves to the ground, feeling more akin to twin tree trunks or even cinder blocks. The sun had passed across the sky, casting a different shadow with each continued second, and tinting the pristine white as it took its path. All things considered, everything about the wedding had been perfect, except for his groom. Nile Tejuhawa Bankole was nowhere to be found. His cell phone was turned off. His associates and closest family members wore the same shocked and tired expressions as Amaziah sported. It appeared, for everyone present, Nile had disappeared, gotten cold feet for a wedding arrangement far more business than love connection. The crowd had hushed when the wedding procession stopped dead in its tracks, waiting for the second groom. The silence spooled out until those most burdened by the weight of the awkwardness took their leave, shuffling out of the aisles and scurrying to the exit. Amaziah noticed the first few departures, but lost himself in his thoughts as the crowd thinned until there was no one left but his own family filling one side of the offered seating. "Hey," Zacchaeus, the family adviser, touched Amaziah's shoulder. "How long do you wish to wait? He is not coming, and the longer you stand, the more shame falls on you. I've done nothing wrong, Amaziah murmured. I have no shame. Maybe not, but you've got pain. Anyone in your position would, and I implore you to let it go. Let's move on. Amaziah's jaw tightened. Zacchaeus was right, despite how much Amaziah wished he wasn't. Call it. Save yourself the pain of continuing to wait for something you know won't come. You are acting like a child, full of hope still when it should be long gone. Amaziah bristled. The muscles in his neck tightened, pressing into the starched collar of his shirt. A few more minutes, he decided, nodding to Zacchaeus, who fell back in line with the other groomsmen. The truth of it all hung in the air, settling like fog over hot pavement after a summer rain. Steam fog, they called it. He wanted to see the last of the sunset and see how the colors shifted like a kaleidoscope over the perfumy gardenias, painting every surface like snow. The sky was blood red now, shocking with its vibrance, and the pillowy gardenia petals were painted the same, but faded. The blood red turned to blue-purple, with light-colored clouds standing out in sharp relief. The sun, still radiant on its descent, beamed through the fluffy clouds. It was beautiful, a good day wasted on a failed wedding. When the sun finally disappeared behind the horizon line, Amaziah glanced back to his men, gaze landing on the family advisor, the family lawyer, the only man who outranked him, and, finally, his best friend and current judge, Enid. Zacchaeus nodded to Amaziah when their gazes met. Your time will come, Elijah, an older gentleman with watery, cool gray eyes and salt and pepper curls, rasped. He eased forward with a cane carrying the weight his left leg couldn't. The boss's glory days had expired, but he was no less magnificent now, with his hunched back and cane, than he had been standing at his full height with a fierce need to prove himself blazing in his dark eyes. Elijah had been the family leader for going on 4 decades, the only leader Amaziah had ever known, and as far as Amaziah was concerned, the best leader the family had ever had, though he knew his biases. Elijah had also grown into a father figure of sorts. He had taken Amaziah under his wing when he was only a soldier, drew him into the ranks from hitman to judge, and finally having the honor of serving as his second in command. Yeah, Amaziah murmured. Come on now. As much as I paid for this wedding cake, I don't want it to go to waste. With a full-bellied chuckle, Elijah led them from the altar to the reception hall. The collection of men took their seats in the order of their importance. Elijah sat first, and a hired server appeared at his side the moment he rested his cane against his seat. She had his favorite drink iced and ready for him, offering it to him with a murmured honorific. Amaziah sat next, at the right-hand side of Elijah. His advisor, Zacchaeus, took the left-hand side. The family's lawyer, Solomon, claimed the seat next to Zacchaeus, and the final vacancy, the spot between Solomon and Amaziah, was Enid's, and he slithered into it with an ethereal grace. I can't believe this. Amaziah broke the silence once everyone had received drinks and the servers had retreated. This ruins everything, and this deal, this alliance, has been in the works for years. I don't understand. It's foolish is what it is. Whether they wanted to deal with us or not, backing out of a sealed agreement paints them as even more untrustworthy than they already are, and increasingly wishy-washy. Solomon mused, crossing his legs and taking another sip of his old-fashioned. Perhaps they view themselves as mercurial rather than wishy-washy, Zacchaeus teased. Perhaps they view themselves as harming us with this action. Perhaps they're fools. Enid chimed in with his own theory, but as the lowest-ranking one in attendance, he kept his interjection short and quiet. Despite this, Elijah's gaze landed on him and lingered, studying him with a mild curiosity until the conversation moved on. Perhaps, Zacchaeus started again, and my words are serious now, perhaps the boy in question wanted more out of an arranged marriage than one strictly of business. Not everyone is suited for a world of chess where no one is exempt from being a pawn. Maybe Maybe he envisioned himself marrying for love. If such is the case, I can't fault him. Are any of you prepared to sacrifice all your fantasies of love for a political marriage? I have no fantasies of love, Solomon grunted, offering a dead-eyed expression to match. Enid gave a light chuckle as he drew his legs into his body, folding himself in his seat as he sipped a now sweating light beer. I have no shortage of fantasies of love, but they don't affect my work. If told to marry, I would marry, and I would have my secret affair with my sexy pool boy at the same time. Amaziah shook his head. Any relationship, whether strictly for convenience or strictly for love, comes with a cost. It's better, for the way we are, for the lives we live, it's better to keep your emotions out of it. This alliance with Bancol, it would have forged our border to the north and put to rest those petty skirmishes. Then we could devote our power to the ever-encroaching sons of Sparta in the south. Elijah grunted and held up a withered, shaking hand. No business, he croaked. There are plenty of days for business, but today isn't one. Let's dine like brothers, and tomorrow we will reformulate our plans. With the boss's words as a finality, the servers appeared with plates of food, all arranged based on the men's dietary preferences. Elijah's plate was balanced, though his food was finely cut for convenience. Enid's diet bordered on vegetarianism, and his plate reflected such. The other three, Amaziah, Solomon, and Zacchaeus, enjoyed a meat-heavy plate with a thick slab of red velvet wedding cake on the corner. They ate without complaint and without conversation, and as they finished their drink and their food, they offered condolences as they took their leave. The older men trickled out, Solomon first, then the boss and Zacchaeus together, leaving Enid and Amaziah in the reception room alone. Enid smiled, stiff posture relaxing to an even more languid position as he uncurled himself and stretched. I'll tell you what the others won't, he started, fingers tracing the lip of his half-drank beer bottle. Wolf eyes scanned the room before landing on Amaziah. You've grown into a beautiful man, and the Bancol boy was a fool to turn you down. You're not my type. I know far too much of your dirty laundry after all, but you're fine and virile. Amaziah rolled his eyes. His oldest friend wasn't wrong. It was silly of him to need such reassurance, but as much as he wanted to pretend it was merely a political rejection, it stung as a personal one too. Enid stood, stepping out with his left foot first, and sank down into Amaziah's lap. It doesn't do for someone of your stature to mope like you're the last in a schoolyard pick. You should get laid. Thank you, but I'm not sure how getting laid will help. You say you don't know, and I ask, how long has it been? Don't play coy. How long has it been since you've had someone warming your bed? He didn't reject Enid when he said, supporting his lithe frame and slight weight with no tax. It's been a hot minute. How long is a hot minute? It's been a couple months, I guess. A couple months? You guess? You're the second in command to the most powerful man in the city, and it's been a couple months? Enid chuckled. You know what? I get it. Discretion and safety are always a concern. I think I know a guy who can handle both and is your type. If he's my type, why do you know him? I know him from an undercover job. I know him from an undercover job I had to do. He was a contact. He's pretty hard to forget, in a good way. Amaziah grunted and took a sip of his now watery bourbon. Okay. Enid chuckled again. He's tall and slim, with a lighter complexion and freckles. And he's got a mass of curly red hair like a mane. Red hair? Amaziah winced. It works, I promise. And I want you to reserve all of your judgments until you see him. How much is this going to cost me? Nothing, Enid grinned. Consider it a jilted at the altar present from me. Aren't I generous? Not usually. Should I be suspicious? Enid paused, flicking a dark gaze towards Amaziah. I can be generous when I want, and right now I want. He slipped out of Amaziah's lap, heading for the door with a feline grace and an unintentional seductive sway. His guard was down. Anyway, I do have business to finish before bed. I'll send my contact your way, and I promise you won't be disappointed.